Maybe last week it was too cold, maybe the week before that, but today it's beautiful. So if you are holding back from going out in the garden, today's the day to go out. If you have any questions about the garden, or you just want to call in and brag about your camellias or something, give Carol Ann a call. The number is 622-9622, and Carol Ann comes in here each Tuesday to do this as a volunteer. So we always appreciate that and want you to know that we do. So,
yeah.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry.
How's your garden? Today's a nice day.
Today's a beautiful day out there.
Yeah.
It's it's just this whole week looks like it's going to be really nice.
It's going to be nice. Yeah, are we done? Is the winter done?
You know what? Even the weathermen have been a little iffy on that, and we've only had 2 thunderstorms. So I'm not ready to ready to say we're done. I mean, we could be, but this last rain, I really thought we were going to get some thunder. Where you get that clashy or warm air and your cold air, and it wasn't there. We with that
and. The groundhog agrees with you.
Yeah, it's it's one of those. I'm not going to go out on the limb and say we're done with it. Just this year's been a little odd, so I'm not going to say spring's here.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, Punxsutawney Phil.
When was that, Friday that he said this?
Friday.
Yeah,
Friday.
Yeah. Said 6 more weeks of winter.
Right, right, and it's possible. I mean, we look like. I mean, during the day we're warming up a little past seasonal, but I think the evenings are still staying down there at what would be considered seasonal temperatures. I should bring it up and see what we can get on say a 10-day or so, 10 or 15 day
this
forecast.
Morning, it looked pretty mild. Like kind of hovering upper 70s to near 80, if not 80. Some of the days had 80 mentioned on. Tomorrow has 80 mentioned. Right,
but I'm just thinking of what it looks like out 10 days.
Further
a little further out, than that. Because we're still, I mean, for us, our last expected frost date is the 15th of March. But let's see, I think there's a full moon somewhere. A lot of people, it's the full moon is right before Easter, usually.
Can I ask you a question? This is a real gardening question, too.
Yeah.
When you use the word systemic, all right, I want to ask you about that. Be clear. Here's why. I live in a mobile home.
Right.
Okay, so the mobile home is empty. There's a space underneath it.
Right.
Now, there's a skirting around it, so I never really look in there.
Right.
But I noticed, those vines, those crazy, annoying vines?
They go up underneath there and up between your siding.
I'm wondering if the whole underneath isn't like swamped with them. So if I sprayed some of the ones that are poking their heads out of there, because every once in a while they'll be poking their head out. They'll
come out, or they'll even go up between the siding.
Right, and I will rip them out, and I'm thinking, there must be a lot of them down there. So that's my question. If something is labeled systemic,
right,
and I spray the outer leaves, the ones I can see, will it kind of make its way all the way?
It should carry down through. Any of the herbicides are generally they're topical. You spray it on the green leafy part of the plant, and it is absorbed systemically into the plant and taken down into the root zone. That's how the root. Well, it should be. Some things are a little harder to kill than others, or have a larger root zone. Smilex vine, for one, has a very large root zone. That's one that comes out, has the leaves are not, there's not a lot of leaves. They're sort of spaced way out, but it has thorns on it. And you chase it down. I mean, people cut them off, and every time you turn around, that vine gets thicker and thicker. So you have to get something down in there, and it may take more than one application to get something.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I should open up the thing and look and see if the whole thing is like one big.
Stick your nose up underneath there and take a peek.
Yeah, or put a camera on Casper, my armadillo. Maybe.
There you go. Or just get your selfie stick and put it up underneath there, and hit the button a few times and see. Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the phones. By the way, I invite you to call. Carol Ann is here to talk to you, whether it's a question or you just want to brag about your garden. The number is 622-9622. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning. This question's more about Groundhog's Day.
Okay.
Punxsutawney Sam saw his shadow. That means we have 6 more weeks. Is that supposed to be a good thing or bad thing? Because 6 more weeks only comes up to about March 16th. And Punxsutawney Sam, he's up in Pennsylvania. March 16th
is our last expected frost date. Right.
Yeah, you can't plant until the first full moon in June, so it's like I never understood that.
Yeah, I've never really. Well, that's why I had come up with my own prognostication, and there for a while we had, and I can't remember his name. There was a groundhog at the Atlanta Zoo that they used to do, and I put a little more confidence in that one because at least he was within the southern states, to reach down here, because Pennsylvania is totally different. With them, 6 more weeks of winter for them could be, another 30 inches of snow.
Right.
For us, it's a totally different kind of thing. So it's my prognostication with it is 3 thunderstorms after the first day of winter. We've only had 2 in order to usher in springtime, and it's that third thunderstorm, and it's so far it's been fairly accurate, I'd say. Not saying that we would not have seasonal cold temperatures. It was moreover of not having those hard freezes afterwards. So that was where mine always came from.
But theoretically, we are in the dry season, and we don't enter the wet season until somewhere around Cinco de Mayo, when we get the first really heavy rain and all the toads come out and everything.
Oh, yeah. That's when our rainy season starts. Yes, the winter months are generally our drier season, and into early spring. But those thunderstorms are triggered by your cold fronts coming down and the warm air that's already here, or warm upper, some other, that's where you get your thunder from. And that's where, to me, the ushering in comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if someone's got some idea what the thing up in Pennsylvania is, because I lived up that way in New Hampshire, and June it was still freezing cold. So, seeing the shadow seemed like a good thing, but they always made it sound like a bad thing.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But that's probably for the rest of us. And well, what is it? It's 6 more weeks of winter, or 6 weeks till spring. 6 weeks till spring always gave you the idea that it was gradual warming, and that it would be, after that time, a much warmer period, where 6 more weeks of winter gives you 6 more weeks of what you've already been having. And if that's been cold weather and snowy weather, shoot up in Erie, Pennsylvania, they'll be digging out for months, it seems like.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. I know. Okay, well, thank you, and have a great day.
You too, thanks.
Funny observation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, and we did. We used to have the and I can't remember his name. Somebody will remember, out of the Atlanta Zoo, and that one was the one I used to, kind of at least pay attention to a little bit. He was at least in a southern state. Come on, Pennsylvania, Florida.
And by the way, not to be picky, but it's Punxsutawney Phil.
Phil,
not Sam.
No, Punxsutawney Phil.
Your caller said Sam.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, one thing I will say, because I did bring up the 10-day forecast, and I know I'm not a weatherman. I've not studied meteorology. I've not done anything like that. But we do have a chance of thunderstorms coming up on the 10th. So we've got 50% chance of thunderstorms the 10th and the 11th. Monday the 12th, there's an 80% chance of thunderstorms. So there might be our third thunderstorms, because following that you have temperatures highs in the at 80, low mid 50s up to 60. And even the following week, the highs are, they're a little more seasonal, 72 to 76 degrees, but the lows are in the 50s. And so that's a little warmer than what normally I think would be a seasonal temperature. So
this year, Mardi Gras is the day before Valentine's Day.
Yes, Fat Tuesday is the 13th, and so Wednesday. So what do guys do? If their ladies are giving up chocolate or something for Valentine's, certain desserts or things like that. So guys, be careful. It's that Ash Wednesday is Valentine's Day.
And we have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Mr. Hugh calling again.
Yeah.
See, Caroline, do you pay any attention to Farmer's Almanac?
I have somewhat. I haven't this year only because I haven't picked one up. I know it's already February. I should be.
Usually
one.
they send them to us.
I know they do, and
we
haven't gotten one since I don't think we've gotten one since the station moved.
Yeah, no, we have.
Oh, okay, but
Yeah,
after
but I
that,
don't
I think
think in a
they've
couple
gotten.
years,
I think
yeah.
they've gotten cheap and they've stopped selling them to us. But
What
which
do
question?
they base their predictions on?
I think it.
When did it come?
No, it was on Patsy's desk.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, there it is. There you go.
Here we go. We got one here. They base their prognosis, their things, I think, via weather patterns of what has gone on previous years and cyclic weather predictions. I mean, if you keep a weather journal, you can probably predict what your weather would be. It would probably take many years. But the Farmer's Almanac is an old book, 1792 is this one here, founded in. And so they have that many years of weather journals that you can take and cyclically go through and see what weather conditions are. You could probably chase back. I mean, I've been here in Ocala area since 1983, and this was the worst winter, or there's back-to-back really cold fronts that I can recall. But when you watch the weather report a few times ago, this weather record low was set in 1972. So it wasn't that we've never had these weather conditions before. It's just we haven't had them in a while.
Yeah, back up in Wisconsin, where I come from, a lot of uncles and family members were into farming, big time farming, and most of them swore by the almanac. And whenever they got together, we all got together for it was the funerals or birthdays or whatever. All they would talk about is the Farmer's Almanac and what's going to happen here. It was just a big center of attention.
Oh, sure, yeah, it becomes a conversation piece, especially if you got folks who do live in different parts, or different areas and things like that. It's how's the weather on one side or another. Another observation that was actually shown to me, or brought up to me, was in the wintertime, if it is really cold in California, we have a tendency to be warm. But if they're fairly warm, we have a tendency to be cold. And it's just the way jet streams and things like that come through. So you might, take a look at the weather map and see what the temperatures are. We may be kind of equal right now, and that's why we're seasonal. Kind of thing like that they're not extremely cold or hot. And I think our rains, I think, are affected a little bit differently, but it does seem to be, if California is fairly wet, we have a tendency to run a little dry, even.
Right.
So even though we're a peninsula.
It all goes back to the jet stream situation and what set that up. And that more or less dictates whether your weather's going to be this way in the north or the south or the east or west or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty predictable that way. Like you say, if it's warm in the west, it's cool in the east, and vice versa. Wet or dry.
Right, and it's just it's just the way the jet stream falls, and how it's influenced, and that influence can come from weather patterns around the world. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows where it's actually coming from.
Right. Well, anyways, with the Farmer's Almanac, with a lot of my relatives back up in Wisconsin, for them it was the Bible.
Sure. A lot of people it still is.
And Carolyn got her Bible just now.
Yeah, I just got mine. We found that it had come. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we're on a break. Let's take that break, and we'll be right back with Carolyn. If you'd like to call in, the number is 622-9622. Don't let the clock fool you. Carolyn is here a whole hour, so you got a good 40 minutes left to get your question answered or your conversation going. We'll be right back. Palm Garden wants to get to the heart of the matter. If you've been in the hospital as a cardiac patient, maybe you have a pacemaker or congestive heart failure or an arrhythmia, or perhaps you're a heart bypass patient, then consider Palm Garden as your rehab choice. With proven outcomes second to none, Palm Garden fixes broken hearts. Call today at 854-6262. That's 854-6262.
The NFL Alumni is sponsoring a Clays for Kids, a sporting event to benefit the Marion County Champions for Champions. The event will take place at the Robinson Ranch in Ingles, Florida
on Saturday, April 7th.
Call 427-0950 for detailed information. The NFL Alumni will provide gift bags, breakfast, lunch, prizes, and drawings throughout the day. Call 427-0950 for detailed information on the Clay for Kids sporting event hosted by the NFL Alumni.
We all know it's been kind of a chilly winter hereabouts, and I'm sure you've noticed that a lot of our green and blooming plants are looking somewhat brown, even dead. But that's not the case with camellias, especially Bob Wine's famous camellias. His camellias love winter, and right now they're absolutely bursting in bloom during his annual Camellia Show Spectacular. Come on out to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. Bring a group of friends or neighbors. Better yet, get your own budded and blooming camellias for as little as $24.99. This is truly a wonderful experience. A 5.5-acre garden, hundreds of specimen trees all over. Check this week's ad or go to bobwinescamelliagardens.net and you'll see a ton of cool weather specials. It's now, today, Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, just east of Lake Weir Avenue. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 2, locally grown, family owned, in the same blooming place since 1952.
All right, 23 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's rejoin Carol Ann Baldwin and In the Garden with Carol Ann. And the phone line is open if you want to call in. The number is 622-9622. And now you've got the old
I've got the old Farmer's Almanac, but I also have, Robin had, when I come in, we got all kinds of different stuff that's going on here, some gift certificates and that. But we've got one here that's for this coming weekend, and we want to try to give away these tickets. Maybe we'll do it at the bottom of the hour when we go in. Sure. Now we have 3 sets of these, and they're each two people tickets.
Okay.
So it's the Dunellen Farm Days Antique Tractor and Equipment Show. This is for Saturday and Sunday, the 9th and 10th. There is camping available if you are somebody who camps. I sound like camel. That's my problem. There's a petting zoo, camel rides, flywheels, hit and miss engines, water pumps, tractors, antique cars and farm equipment, and lots more. Craft and food vendors, live music, demonstrations, children's activities. It's a full family event. And we have 2 armbands here. If you're interested in camping, they do have specials on that with restrooms and things like that available. It's located in Dunellen on 6 miles west of Dunellen, I should say, on Kenny Road 40. It's at the what do you call it? The Bluegrass, the Withlacoochee Bluegrass Park. So it's right there by the river, and so beautiful scenery for the area.
So antique tractors is
antique
the
tractors
feature?
and equipment. Antique tractors and equipment. It's a farm show kind of thing, but more over equipment. There's a lot
just
of folks
to see old tractors.
Old tractors, yeah. It's kind of like seeing old trains,
Yeah.
There's some people who like old tractors and farm equipment. And so we do have, if anybody, when we go to the bottom of the hour news break, we'll make a mention before the tickets are, 1 day admission is only $5 each. So, it's a $10 thing. But they do have dry camping for $10 a night.
Dry camping?
Dry camping, where as opposed to being underwater. The ground's high and dry, so you're not going to be in a puddle or anything like that. Should it rain, if you're in a tent or a smaller camper, they do have electricity. They do offer a 2-night special. 2 days and 2 nights camping with electricity at $50, but you need reservations for that one are suggested. Dry camping is $10. Electricity is $20 a night. There's a bathhouse, etc. So you don't have to.
Do you know two things I want to say? First of all, that sounds like a thing to go to, even if you're not a farmer. Here's what I can see. I can see because when you do artwork, a lot of times you want an old-looking tractor in the art for some reason. It's got a cool look to it.
Sure.
Like it's just sitting in a field rotting or something.
Right, that rusty, rusty hulk of steel, the old John Deere out there, or the Harvester, what was it called, Harvester International? Those big ones, kind of things, and just some.
The other thing would be cool is to go to a modern tractor show. Where the farmer
where the
sits,
great big massive.
He sits in an enclosed, air-conditioned with a radio.
With a GPS system that runs through to where it's tracking his tractor.
That would be cool
to
see.
That would also be interesting.
If you
could put them side by side in a...
Wouldn't it be cool if you could travel through time and bring one of those old farmers to the future and say, this is
what you're working towards. Yes. This is
too bad you can't live here, because that will disrupt the whole time continuum thing.
That would be, that would not be a good thing.
I think we have a call. If not, I'll push your button. Good morning. Is somebody there? No, I didn't push it.
We were just to go back to some of our full moons and stuff like that. I did look up full moons, which we have no full moon in February because we just had blue moon in January, which is 2 full moons in the same month.
Okay, got it.
March is another blue moon month, and our first full moon in March is the 2nd. With the new moon being the 17th. Usually, if you're going to have cold weather, it is on those full moons.
Really?
I've always found that if a cold front comes through, when you've got a full moon, that coldest night's going to be that full moon. The second full moon is the 31st of March, and so I have a feeling there's some folks who may not be planting some of their more tender plants in the garden just based upon what they've followed through almanac, etc., until after the end of March, till 1st of April. Now, I'm going to push it, and I'll be planting first.
Then you want to squeeze in a phone call?
Sure.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on. Oh no, you're not on the air. Okay, whoever it was left. I don't know if you were calling in for the armbands, for the wristbands. Don't worry. We've got three
sets of them.
3 sets.
Yep.
2 people for each set. So we'll do that at the break, which is coming up in about a minute and a half. So, just so you know. Yeah, I always thought that it would be neat to see those new things.
That's right. You see those sometimes on TV, some of the big excavators and such
like that.
Some of the tractors. I've never been in one of them now,
either,
but they are very modern. Farming, it used to be like the Amish still do with plow and horse and donkeys and things like that were very, very simple. But that was the birth of this, coming into something mechanical to plow these fields, and that way it was much easier to get that field plowed and planted and things like that.
Why are they so opposed to technology? I don't understand that.
It's just...
Is it their religion?
I believe something,
Is there something in the Bible that says thou shalt not use diesel fuel or something?
I'm not sure.
All right, be careful around me because now lightning's going to hit me.
I know, yeah.
All right, let's take a little break. If you would like the tickets that Caroline was talking about for the tractor show, call during the break, 622-9622. We can have 3 winners on this one.
There we go.
And that means each of you will get 2 armbands, one for you and one for your special tractor-loving friend.
There you go.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. Dow futures are down again ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street. The Dow fell 1,175 points yesterday. Fox Business Network's Blake Berman with part of a statement from White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders.
The president's focus is on our long-term economic fundamentals, which remain exceptionally strong with strengthening U.S. economic growth, historically low unemployment, and increasing wages for American workers.
Stock markets overseas are down today. A Powerball lottery winner is asking a court to let her stay anonymous in New Hampshire.
It's one of a handful of states that permits lottery winners to form anonymous trusts to shield their identities. The problem is the winner already signed her name to the $560 million winning ticket, and if she alters it to hide her identity, that will void the ticket.
Fox's Carmen Roberts. Fox News. We report, you decide.
When hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Daryl is hired with Indeed.
Using the site saves me a lot of time. It makes my job so much easier.
Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because whether you're making updates to existing properties or building new construction, Lowe's saves pros time and money every day. Now through February 7th, get 25% off all in-stock kitchen cabinets. Plus, save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. So, Pro, now that you know, let's get started. See the Lowe's Pro Desk for more details. Offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
525668324. Ocala Mac and PC Repair.
Tired of looking at stained carpets, dirty tile, or grout? Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Make your flooring look great again. Stains, pet odors, allergies. Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. From serving our country to serving our community. Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Residential and commercial. Their work is guaranteed along with your satisfaction. Check their website, silverbackrestoration.com.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that you promised you would. So whether you're tackling a small honeydew list or building the Taj Mahal, Sunbelt Rentals will help you get the job done right with the right tools. From carpet cleaners to excavators, Sunbelt Rentals has what you need. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now. From Sunbelt Rentals, located on Highway 27, just a half-mile east of I-75. Or visit sunbeltrentals.com. Get it done. Rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
All right, 27 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's return to Carol Ann Baldwin in the garden with Carol Ann. Thank you for calling. We got a full 27 minutes left to talk about your garden.
About your garden and what's going on in the garden. There are places that you can actually learn stuff, too, about what to do in your garden. There's all kinds of different things going on. I mean, I got all my little pieces of paper here floating around. You know, forget the laptop. I just need paper.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way,
right? The old-fashioned way. I can do this better because then I can set it aside. The Gardening at a Glance, the Master Gardener program, fantastic program. They offer many, many different ways and locations that you can learn about how to garden or what to garden and landscape and such like that. Here in Marion County and around throughout the county, because we have a huge county, and so we do really spread these kind of things out. If you are ever at any other programs and you want to get on their mailing list, on their, I think it's an emailing list, they don't spam you with anything, but they will send you the upcoming events that are going on. Just like coming up, let's see, today is the 6th, the Dunellen Satellite Plant Clinic. If you're over in the Dunellen area and you need to learn a little bit, have some questions that need to be answered, from 10 to 1, you'll have master gardeners there. If you were signed up for the Edible Gardening 101, that's today and tomorrow, or this evening, and coming up on the 7th, that's Wednesday, because today's the 6th. Fort McCoy Children's Library Series. So if you've got kids, you're out that way, or, it's a nice drive out there to Fort McCoy. They have Florida wildflowers and seed bombs from 4 to 5 in the afternoon. So even your regular school-age children would be able to go, because this is an after-school type program. Coming up February the 9th, out there on Top of the World at their Master the Possibilities Education Centers, it's the Master Gardener Series, Tomatoes. What is a tomato and how can I be successful in growing them, how to deal with the insects and diseases.
How do you grow mayonnaise is what I want to know.
Do you want to know how to grow mayonnaise? You got to grow the eggs first. And that's from 10 to 11. So there's a lot of different things that are going on throughout the community to get your questions answered or to learn more about the garden. And of course, coming up in March the 10th and 11th is the we don't have the year on it, so I'm guessing it's about the 26th. Possibly, or more than that. It may I forget which number on the Marion County Master Gardeners Spring Festival. This year, it's located more at the Livestock Pavilion than the Extension grounds where it always was. They changed it up a little bit. Admission is $2. Children 12 and under are free. We still have the Children's Kids Zone, demonstration gardens. Seminars both in the Extension Auditorium as well as in the gardens. Please, only true service animals in attendance. We don't need anybody's pets to be harmed, and service animals know how to behave in public and large crowds. They've been trained as such. But there's all kinds of different water-wise landscaping, I guess, is part of our theme this year, and so there'll be all kinds of different things on how to properly water. But there's all kinds of talks of African violets. That's something new this year. Bamboo in your Florida garden, that's new. Another talk on Vanda orchids. Alternative fruit crops other than citrus, because just with the issues of citrus in the state of Florida and throughout the whole citrus industry. Growing gingers, that's another one that's a brand new topic. So it should be fun and interesting and educational. And these topics come from you, the guests who come in. You know, they give a survey at the end. If you sit in on a seminar, at the end of it, they ask you, give us some input. And they take that input, and obviously somebody does read it. Yeah. In order to try to make improvements onto something that's been a long time event, in order to keep it fresh, to keep people to want to come back, year after year. But it is something a lot of people do look forward to on every year. And again, that's March 10th and 11th, 8 to 5, 9 to 4, respectively. Hope to see y'all come out. And I've got the other one, which somebody asked about last week, but now that I'm in the studio and I have a laptop and I have everything else, I have the piece of paper that says the Mushroom Production Workshop right here.
There we go. Yeah.
That was the one, yeah. And actually, I got to check my own schedule because that's something I want to go to as well. It is Tuesday, March 27th from 10 to 2 p.m., at the County Extension Auditorium. There is a registration website. It's Eventbrite, and so it's mushproduction.eventbrite.com, and that Eventbrite's pretty easy to use. It allows you to use your credit card or debit card right there online. It is a secure site. $65 per person, but that's giving you your educational program, as well as I think you're getting a log of your own with the mushroom spawn in it, and it's growing the shiitake mushrooms, which is shiitakes are ones everybody,
that's the one people like to eat.
They're a very popular mushroom, but also have a tendency where they can be a little more pricey. They're a little more flavorful than the white button mushrooms. But hey, mushrooms are mushrooms. I love them all. So
not me. Not a mushroom fan.
I love mushrooms. And I think I've got.
What is it about it that you love? I mean, is there an actual flavor?
There is a flavor. It's an earthy flavor. There's a texture to them.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I mean, you can take some of those big ones like the shiitakes and such like that, and clean it. Put a little olive oil on them. Put a little garlic and grill it.
Do you know what the first four letters are?
And then put it on a bun.
Right?
Hey now.
See, that's just horrible.
Nah, mushrooms are good, and they're good for you. I don't know all the vitamin inclusives, but even for something as simple as a fungi, they do have nutritional value.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't life just amazing?
Yeah, it is. It is
so much.
But mushrooms are good. And another one, this one would be one you would need to sign up for, is a Florida-friendly landscaping for homeowners workshop that's coming up in March. It'll be over at the Frank DeLuca Family YMCA over on 17th Street. This one's cheap. It's $5 for all 4 classes. That one's a cheap one. But you register by calling over to Extension Office 671-8400. And this one is it's a 4 different sessions, all in March, 2 to 4 p.m. each of the afternoons, and I believe they're all Tuesdays. And in the 4 weeks, you'll learn the principles to help you manage and maintain your landscape while helping you to save money, time, and resources. Simple as that. It's a Florida-friendly landscaping.
If you won the lottery, what one landscaping thing would you absolutely put in your garden or your yard?
Oh, that's a tough one because I always thought it would be really cool to design, and it would take acres to do this, would be a garden in the shape of the state of Florida.
Oh, wow.
With waterfalls, waterways that would come down into where it would be Lake Okeechobee would be your center lake.
Oh, that's your swimming pool.
would be a people pond. And then landscaped around with things like that. So that would probably take a couple of
I hope
acres.
you win the lottery.
I think it would just, you may not be able to see it all except from the air, but I would know it was there. That kind of thing.
Well, I like the idea of like we have a couple of companies in town that specialize in those outdoor ponds.
Oh, yeah.
And they really look cool.
Oh, there's a lot of them that are just spectacular.
And you don't have to win the lottery.
No, you don't. And because really, it's fairly reasonable to have a pond, to have a water feature in your landscape. They actually have pondless waterfalls to where you're not having water sitting in there,
really?
Where you're not bringing fish into the equation. It's just a recycling, waterfall that gives you that sound. But it's more natural than the fountain sitting there on a rock in the, out in the yard.
Have you ever seen the waterfall / fountain over at Monroe Regional Medical Center?
The one as you come in
on the side.
Yeah, when you're coming to the main entrance.
Well, that's the bottom of it. But if you
go up to the
cafeteria,
and you look up,
I think it's the 3rd floor, and then you go outside. That's the top.
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's
unbelievable.
It is.
If you've never seen it, you should go there. It's a good day.
Of course, it's been in a little bit of disrepair the last time I was there. The bottom half.
It's a hospital. Everything's in a little disrepair.
Yeah, that's true. But come on now, you're spending a lot of money on that. But yes, that is a very nice water feature, and it is very relaxing. For visitors and those who are
the stress you're going through if a loved one is in the hospital.
Yes, I spent some time there a few years back, and yes, it was very very soothing to be in that kind of area. But you can add water to your gardens. And the Master Gardener Spring Festival, we usually have a water garden company or two. A lot of your landscaping companies will put fountains or waterfalls or water gardens in for you. You can always learn. You can go onto the university's website and learn about putting rain garden in for yourself, where rain gardens are not something that hold water. They're not water features, but they are those areas that might not drain real well when we have a lot of rain and can be difficult. They can be hard to landscape because many plants don't thrive in those areas, but there are a lot of plants who will, or there's some plants that only pop up when it rains, like the rain lilies and things like that. And you can landscape for that. And those areas, instead of just becoming the grassy area, they become a filter for where that water is going to sit for a little bit. And those plants will absorb some of that water, but it'll also act as a filter before that water perks down through.
Last week when you called in from Lowe's, oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you see the news? Or did you get did you get a bonus?
Oh, we'll be getting ours.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
Yeah.
You must have been jumping for joy with that news.
You have to figure what they put on the news is not the full story. They're putting you the highest highlight.
Oh, really?
So we won't go in, but I'm sure that besides the Depot, Lowe's, I'm sure Walmart, I'm sure Target, I'm sure they're all doing something, maybe a little quieter. But what you heard on the news was not the top people, but the top amount. That would be given out.
Okay.
That's not everybody getting.
Well, anyway, it wasn't about that. It was something else. Well, yes, last week when you were talking to us from there, I had this article. I don't have it anymore about the plants
NASA,
that clean, take the toxins out of the air.
Right.
And then as a side note, it said, "P.S. This helps you out with the air, but you got to be careful because it's poisonous if a dog or a child eats it."
Right.
So I have a question that stems from. Okay.
Right.
Do you ever like say, okay, if you're going to put in a pond or a certain plant, here's some of the unexpected or maybe unwanted side effects. Like maybe this will attract rodents.
The pros and cons. Well, sure. When you put in a water feature in a garden, you are going to attract a whole lot of different wildlife. But most people who are putting those in kind of want that. They're encouraging the frogs and the lizards and toads and birds and things like that into the garden because they're looking for a more full garden.
But what about snakes?
Yes, well, but you know, I think most gardeners tolerate them. I mean, there's only 5 snakes in Florida that can truly hurt you. There's many others, and they're all just beneficial. Even the ones that'll hurt you are beneficial. And out of those 5, only 4 are generally in our area. The copperhead is up in the Panhandle or north, not generally found in Central Florida. Then you've got your eastern diamondback is a big snake. There are certain pockets in the county that seem to have a higher population of them than others. You have the coral snake, many times confused with the king snake. So don't just go chopping one in half. Look it up before you. And if it's going the opposite direction than where you're going, let him go. He's for that one. Even though the toxin is a neurotoxin, he has to bite and chew on you before he can ever put any in, and you got to stick your finger or toe in its mouth. It's a small snake. It has a small head. The next one would be another tiny one's the pygmy rattlesnake. If you are sensitive to toxins and things like that, yes, you're going to have a harder time with it. But my understanding, there is no recorded human death from one.
Really?
Very painful. Yes, I mean I had a cat that got got scratched by the snake's mouth, tooth, whatever. And yes, her little paw swelled up, and this and that. They gave her antibiotics and she'd be fine, and she was.
Wow.
She just wouldn't go over in that area too often. So it was,
Did the snake survive?
Yeah, I don't know where the snake went because, they were so tiny. The pygmy rattlesnakes are so small. And again, it's one of those things that it's such a small snake that it's hard for it to bite you. Yes, children and pets would be much more apt to be bitten by them. And then your other one that would be your poisonous would be your cottonmouth, your mortar moccasins. And those, again, you're not going to necessarily find that just up in your landscape unless you're near not just a little water feature, but a body of water.
We are up against another break, so we will take a little break and be right back with Carolyn. If you'd like to call in, you are welcome and invited to do that. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back after these important words.
Hey, folks, if the trees around your house aren't becoming to you or your house, then you should be coming to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala for their big half-price tree sale. Here's all you do. You go to Bob Wine's, you pick out your favorite tree. Now, there are hundreds to choose from. You pick it out and get Bob's super low prices. Then, you get a second tree just like it for half price. That's right, half price on the second tree. That's a deal too good to miss. Other specials this week, cold weather gardenias. They're beautiful and just $7.99. Plumbago, also a deal, just $5.99. For more deals, go to bobwinescamelliagardens.net or get to their store, a huge 5.5-acre store on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala. They're open daily till 4, Saturdays until 2. Bob Wine's Camellia Garden. Homegrown, locally owned, in the same blooming place since 1952.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Is that couch cushion sinking lower every time you sit in it? Does your boat look better with the cover on? Has your car's interior seen its better days? Stop using a towel to cover up those rips in the golf cart. Isn't it about time you had it restored to better than new with a custom upholstery from Captain T? Captain T's Upholstery has been right here in Ocala for nearly 20 years, so they know how to make your ride one of a kind. Whether you want to take that classic ride back to a factory look or put your favorite sports team front and center, Captain T's Upholstery is who to call. 352-369-1810. That's 352-369-1810. Or stop by their location, 5030 South Pine Avenue in Ocala, just past the drive-in. And of course, don't forget to visit them on the web, CaptainTUpholstery.com.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
If you find an animal or a bird that needs help, call Animus Foundation at 352-843-6379. They will come and get the animal if you can't take it to them. High school students and those with court-ordered community service can earn required hours in this rewarding environment. And veterans who share a bond with animals and parrots who have been through mental or physical trauma are especially welcomed. Families, clubs, and tourists can arrange for tours of Animus without driving for hours or miles. Consider volunteering. Animus needs you.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. This Tuesday, a nice day with a mix of clouds and sun and a high of 74 along the coast, 79 inland. Clear to partly cloudy, mild Tuesday night, lows ranging from the mid-50s in the coolest inland spot to the mid-60s at the coast. Wednesday, partly sunny and very warm, high 78 at the coast, 83 inland. And on Thursday, more clouds and sun with a chance of a shower, highs in the 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Thank you, Joe Lundberg. It is 8 minutes now before 10 o'clock. Let's return to Carol Ann Baldwin in the garden with Carol Ann. And even I feel like going outside and messing in the garden.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful day to be outside today.
Just cut things.
Just
listen to your radio.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Pay attention that long term.
Oh, really? Cutting things wouldn't be the thing? That's pretty much all I do is cut things.
It's just cut things and then mow grass, cut plants back. And
I don't plant the whole lot.
I know a lot of people are getting out there and they are starting to clean it up and they are trying to get rid of some of that winter ugly. Just realize it is still February, even though it said we looked at the long term. I looked 15 days out.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, so far so good, but you never, that's, only in weather can you be wrong 50% of the time and still make a fantastic paycheck. That's just one of those things. So I would, if you have something that's a little more tender, things like that, I'd be leaving the bananas alone. They may even be starting to try to leaf back out, but I would probably leave that dead on there. Whatever you can do to not do on that. I had a gentleman come in yesterday with questions. He's got weeds in his lawn in quite a few areas. My grass is brown and people are edgy and itchy just to go out there and throw their weed and feeds down and the fertilizers down, and it's like, whoa, pull back on those reins a little bit, cowboy. Leave that spreader in the garage a few more weeks. Your lawn is still dormant. We are not having regular rains. Our temperatures are still low. It's coming back some. You can go ahead and treat for some weeds, realizing you need to do it here while we've got some warm weather for it to be effective. Read and follow the directions. You only treat your whole lawn 2 times a year with an herbicide, so with your weed killers. So if you're going to run out there and spray the whole yard down with your weed killer, and then come back and whatever the directions will tell you, I don't know, 6 weeks or something like that you can hit it again, you're done for 2018 on doing the whole yard.
Wow.
After that, you're just going to spot spray.
You're done for the whole year.
You're done putting herbicide on that whole yard for the whole year. You can go through and spot spray. And that's, maybe this first go round, I told him, put it down, pay attention to your calendar, pay attention to the, and write it down. Write this stuff down. That's the one reason I miss the Master Gardener's calendar. is that you could write all these things down. And if you saved your calendar year to year, you could look back and go, oh, okay, this is what I used. This is when I used it. This is the effects I had.
Get onto them
and something
again.
like that. But leave the fertilizers, leave the weed and feeds at the stores or in the garage, wherever you've got it stored, for another few weeks. Your grass is still dormant. Let it start to come up out of that dormancy on its own. We're still on the 1 day a week kind of watering. I know that'll change soon as the clocks change on that 10th. That morning of the 11th of March is when your clocks change. And even then, let that lawn come up out of its dormancy. We had a cold winter. We had back-to-back hard freezes, and so give it a chance to come back up. If you are in dire need, I have to put something down to nourish my lawn. Something like the Milorganite. Or just, the black velvet kind of stuff where it's an organic. It's not going to force the grass to grow. It's just going to nourish the soils.
Usually, I would think that somebody would say, I need to put something down because something doesn't look right.
Well, and that's what they're afraid of, is that the lawn is brown. The grass is brown. It's asleep.
Okay.
You don't want to put a lawn fertilizer, a turf fertilizer down until you've actually needed to mow it. And not just mow off the weeds, where the grass has actually begun to come up and tell you, yes, I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to be fed. We do not feed or give beverages to unconscious people. Let's not give it to an unconscious lawn. I mean, we can water it, but again, we don't want to water it every day. The 1 day a week, let it come back up out of that gradually so that it's not...
Never thought of it that way before.
And it is. It's asleep. Everything's asleep. Some things are starting to come back up, but even then, those little
My
green
apple
peas...
tree's asleep, isn't it?
Your apple tree hasn't been doing much, but I think he needs some more sunshine. He needs to be in a spot where it gets more direct sun.
It gets plenty of direct sun, like in an hour or so.
But does it get it the rest of the day?
It gets it as long as it comes through that window.
Yeah.
So you think it needs more sun, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's going to need some fertilizer. You figure whatever, the potting mix had
Whatever
in
had
it.
it in
Whatever,
it,
that's
depleted.
probably used up by now.
Okay.
No, and just it's a small pot, even if it was something like the little bit of the liquid, the blue stuff we mix in a watering can, every so often, kind of thing.
What about those little spikes that they sell, Miracle Grow spikes?
Those little spike might even work, because you're only going to stick one in there at a time, something that pot that small. And so it's doing all right, though. It's still nice and green. It's still, it's still healthy.
So I'll have to get a little spike somewhere.
Yeah, get some, a little package of fertilizer spikes.
Oh my gosh, we're almost out of time.
Yes, we are.
Well, thank you for doing this, Carolyn. It's always fun, and it's my favorite time of the week. Favorite part of the week, I should say. Well, thank you. So we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Do you have to work today?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to be there at noon, so all will be good.
Thank you for doing this. And anybody who wants to be a master gardener, where would they call?
Call over 671-8400 to the County Extension Office.
All right. Thank you, Carolyn.
All right. Thank you, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. The Dow and NASDAQ are now down for the year on Wall Street, with the last 3 days of losses wiping out the gains.
The Dow's 1,175-point drop yesterday represents a 4.6% loss. But to put that in perspective, the 1987 sell-off was 508 points, and that was a loss of 22.6%.
Fox's Ginny Casola. As far as today goes, stocks have been up and down just after the opening bell. The Democrats' rebuttal to a Republican memo about FBI surveillance of a Trump campaign advisor will be released if President Trump says okay.
Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, doesn't think the president will block the memo.
I am more concerned that they make political redactions, not redactions to protect sources and methods.
Democrats say their memo clears up what they call distortions and inaccuracies in the Republican memo.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. Fox News. We report, you decide.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Daryl has hired with Indeed.
Nothing has been this simple, this easy, and this effective.
Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because whether you're making updates to existing properties or building new construction, Lowe's saves pros time and money every day. Now through February 7th, get 25% off all in-stock kitchen cabinets. Plus, save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. So, Pro, now that you know, let's get started. See the Lowe's Pro Desk for more details. Offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
Here is your 30-second news brief. SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket is scheduled to blast off from the Kennedy Space Center this afternoon. Political activists were in Tallahassee yesterday for a Moral Monday rally to oppose legislative injustices. The Florida House is expected to pass an education bill that includes vouchers to students who have been